I'm still working through those Thanksgiving leftovers, but I'm looking forward to Hanukkah and Christmas. We're going to tell you the best beers to pair with your holiday meals.
This week marks the 89th anniversary of the end of America's darkest era. We're going to tell you some of the lighter side of Prohibition.
From Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport with Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. New episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. And by the CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company, the perfect place for your holiday gathering. Reach out today at events@CONSHOHOCKENBrewing.com.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow along with beer aficionado Joe Sixpack. We're at Puddler's Kitchen and Tap, one of the great CONSHOHOCKEN brewing places. This is right on DeKalb Street in Bridgeport, where I am starting my day with a, backpack beer, Belgian style wheat, 5.5%.
I'll join you in the same beer.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
All right. This is Belgian style, which reminds me, we haven't done a whole lot of episodes talking about European beers.
That's right.
And we wanted to do it, and specifically we decided, what the hell, let's focus on France.
France beer.
So what'd you get for the beer swap?
All right. This is Kronenbourg 1664. It's pretty much the biggest.
That's the best you got?
It's the biggest.
I drank that 40 years ago, that stuff.
Yeah, it's from the Alsace-Lorraine, so it's sort of a German-style beer. Glenn, we'll see what we
How
get
do we
with
rank
this.
this? What do we think of this?
Well, we don't rank until we taste, so.
Okay. You know, inoffensive.
Yeah, it's completely non-distinguished at all. So,
All right. Well, that's what you brought
so
me.
what did you find from France there,
I
Glenn?
dug much deeper, and I got you the Kronenbourg 1664 Blanc.
Blanc, okay.
Now, I have no idea how this would be different, except it's Blanc, but it does come in this nifty blue bottle, so I kind of like the bottle, if nothing else. Kronenbourg has been around, as I said, forever.
Right.
They were selling beer in the United States when I was in college.
So it looks like it's an unfiltered version, maybe of the same beer. So.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't like that one.
What is that flavor in it?
I don't know. Okay.
So
the
exactly what were we thinking here,
I
Glenn?
don't know. But the sale of foreign beers, you told me, has kind of gone down in recent years.
It has, because, you know, frankly, we make great beer here in America. So why bother importing beer from France or any other place? Because you can, I mean, there's great beer out there, wonderful Belgians, Germans, and so on. But honestly, American brewers can match every single beer. Right.
I mean, I remember when I was younger, I'd go to the beer store and there'd be, you know, your basic American beers, and I'd go like, oh, look at this. This is from Italy. I'll try that. From Germany, from France. And it was different and exciting and so on. But as you say, the craft beer industry in this country has gotten done so well that foreign's pushed out. I mean, not Corona, right? That's always going to be around.
Right.
But a lot of the foreign's were pushed out. Does the young beer drinking crowd care about foreign beers?
Not as much as they used to. I think there was a time when import meant prestige. The likes of Heineken and Guinness and Corona. It all meant something better than what you would get in America. It was priced more expensively, and I don't think that. Again, I just don't think it's there as much as it used to be.
All right, we brought up and chose French beers for another reason, and Joe Sixpack, I'll give you the moment.
Okay, well, I hope that the beer is better over there, because that's where I'm headed, Glenn. This is going to be my last time on What's Brewing. I'll be on as a guest in the future,
but your last time standing
as a
here
host,
with me,
exactly,
yes.
Because from now on I'm going to be living in France. I'm moving there. I should sing the Marseillaise maybe right now.
Well, tell me, but you and your wife are literally picking up, selling your house, and moving to France.
That's right. We've, it's basically retirement. We're moving to
people retire to Florida.
Yeah, I know. A little too hot there for me.
Okay.
So we're moving to Brittany, to a town called Rennes.
Wow.
It's a big move.
I guess.
I've been a Philly guy all my life. I've always lived in Philadelphia, born and raised here, and It is a huge step, but it's one we wanted to do for this next part of our lives.
It's a fascinating and intriguing part of your lives, as we said, as you kind of almost said wrong. You will continue on the show, but you'll be doing guest appearances. We'll be zooming you over. Well,
exactly, but we won't be standing next to each other, Glenn.
Yeah, but we'll be getting you every week on Zoom. We're going to try some other co-hosts. The show will continue. We're going nowhere, but Joe Sixpack's role will change. But, wow, we really wanted to just tell you, I wanted to tell you personally how much I've enjoyed being your partner on this show for what now, 6 seasons?
Yeah, 6 seasons.
And it's really special. You really, when it comes to this, you're the man and you're a great guy.
It's been fantastic. We've really enjoyed it quite a bit.
All right, hold on, we got you. We knew you were going, so we baked a cake. There you go.
Thank you, Joe Sixpack.
Hopefully you can see it. And we got you a Yeti Stout
All right.
to enjoy this with.
All right.
All right. So
properly
let's do the
paired with a stout.
Okay. All right. It's amazing. Why France? People are going to say, why France? You could live anywhere in the world. Why France?
It's true. I think it's just an appeal to the lifestyle there. I like it. It's where we're headed is going to be a lot slower paced. I've started to learn French, and
good. That would help.
Exactly. I love the bakeries and the croissants.
Yes, you're going to put on 30 pounds.
Yeah, I know
there.
that without a problem. And interestingly, the craft beer thing has started to take off in France as well. Yeah, that's not what people are drinking over there. At least people love beer. They're drinking wonderful craft beer styles. I describe it as what the U.S. was in about 2005. That's about where they are, except instead of doing all those different beer styles that we enjoyed, they jumped right to hazies. So.
Okay, well, there you go. Good for them. And you know what? You can give them all those years of expertise and make them even better. Well, my friend, I salute you. It's been just a pleasure working with you and knowing you as a friend. So the show will continue. Joe Sixpack's role will be a little bit less, but he'll be involved. We've still got a show to do here. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the end of Prohibition and some of the funny, odd things that came out of that. With the soon-to-be departed Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. We're at Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport for What's Brewing.
So, what do you want to do today?
Today, I want to run. I want to skate. I want to see a show. I want to play. I want to eat, like a lot. I want to sleep in a hotel. Can we do all that?
We can do all that and more.
Welcome back to What's Brewing with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We are at Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport, right on DeKalb, one of the great CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company places, and enjoying this Life Coach, hazy Life Coach IPA, one of my favorites here, one of the
By the way,
you'll find you around.
You guys exporting to France, or?
For you.
Okay, good.
Give me the address. What's the name of the town? Rennes?
Rennes.
Rennes. I'll find you. W-R-E-N?
R-E-N-N-E-S.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can spell that. Well, we'll find you. Okay. Did they have Prohibition in France?
No, are you kidding me? It's wine central there. Prohibition would just die right on its face.
This country did. The good news is that it ended 89 years ago this week, and there's a couple things we wanted to talk about out of that. One is your friends at Kunda Beverage have done kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, they came up with a beer called Watsy's Special Brew. It's a weird name, but it's named after their founder, Watsy Kunda, which, is kind of a nice thing to do. They've been around for over 100 years.
Yeah.
They named it after him, or they came up with this beer because the beer distributorship opened up just before Prohibition started.
Good timing.
Exactly. And so they did basically what any good business would do. They got around the law. They started, basically were selling illegal hooch. They would take non-alcoholic beer and spike it with alcohol.
Sell you the alcohol separately.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, they did it themselves. At least they
they did it
themselves.
All right. Well, we show a picture of the beer that they brought out. So is this beer the formula they used in 1933?
Well, not quite. It is a lighter beer. This is more of a session IPA, I think. I don't know that they had those back in the 1920s or whatever, but they did. This beer actually was made at Adams Shite Brewery in Norristown. The original was, and they would take it. Glenn, this is a great story. They actually refer to this as needle beer because they would take an old horse syringe,
hypodermic,
and spike it into the beer.
Is that how they're making it now?
No, thank God.
Okay. Well, I'll give that a try. Okay, another really fun story I read about pre-Prohibition law. This is before Prohibition. New York State really began cracking down on bars and saloons. New York City in 1896 had 8,000 saloons. And there were a lot of people who were opposed to this because many of the saloons, I'm going to read this from the story, were dimly lit, foul-smelling, rickety-chaired, stale-beer dives that catered to vagrants, shipless sailors, incompetent thieves, and aging streetwalkers.
Sounds like my kind of place. I mean, come on.
I'd go.
Really? What's the downside here?
So they pushed a series of laws through the New York State legislature. A lot of the Republicans at the time who spoke for constituency of rural and small-town churchgoers, along with a surprising ally, 37-year-old New York City Police Chief Theodore Roosevelt, who pushed a law and order agenda and wanted to shut down these places.
Yeah, all right. So Teddy Roosevelt shuts down these places, but you know that he had a stash in his little home.
Oh, no doubt about it.
That was one of the things about Prohibition, is that rich, connected people. Absolutely.
Okay, so there was a loophole in the law, and the loophole was that lodging houses that had 10 or more rooms, and by the way, a lot of the rooms were like, a broom closet was considered a room, were allowed to serve booze as long as they served meals with the booze.
Okay.
So what do you do for a meal? Here's what you do. By the way, the assistant DA in Brooklyn ruled that a cracker is not a meal, a sandwich is a meal. There's been the argument, is a hot dog a sandwich? This is the argument, a sandwich is in fact a meal. The court upheld it, and so there were 1,500 hotels and boarding houses that sprung up in months. Brooklyn went from 13 hotels to 800 hotels in 6 months, and the food they served were sandwiches. And I want to read this by a famous author, by the way, okay? When they ordered an ale or whiskey, the bartender would bring it out with a sandwich. Generally speaking, the sandwich was not edible. It was, quote, an old desiccated ruin of dust-laden bread and mummified ham or cheese, wrote the playwright Eugene O'Neill. He was hanging out. Other times it was made of rubber. Bar staff would commonly take the sandwich back seconds after it arrived, pair it with the next beverage order, and whisk it to another patron's table. Some sandwiches were kept in circulation for a month.
That's great. You know what this reminds me of? That lonely hot dog that just spins around on the grill at 7-Eleven. No one will ever eat that last hot dog.
There forever. Well, there you go. There's a couple of fun stories about history. We like to, give you some guidance in the history and all that stuff. He's Joe Sixpack. You still going to move to France? Can I talk you out of it?
Maybe you'll come.
Oh, that might. Never mind. Maybe I'll go that direction. We're at the Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport. For what's Glen Macnow here with Andrew Colligan, beer genius from CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company. Andrew, let's run down some of our core beers with some exciting new looks. Start with Type A.
Our #1 selling beer. Big citrus hop notes. Type A is our classic American IPA.
Life Coach Hazy IPA.
Hazy, bright, and juicy. The perfect beer for all day, every day.
Puddler's Row.
Maybe the best English ale in the country. Back-to-back silver medals at the World Beer Cup.
Backpack beer.
The newest addition to our year-round lineup. Citrus and spicy with a refreshingly clean finish. Pack a few and enjoy the view.
And everybody loves Ring the Bell.
My go-to. Smooth, easy drinking lager that's perfect before, during, or after the game. This one's out of here!
Oof, thank you, Harry. All exciting choices. Enjoy them all and a whole lot more at all of our CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company locations. And wherever beer is sold. Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. We are at the Puddler's Kitchen and Tap on DeKalb in Bridgeport, right over the bridge from Norristown. Great place, great food menu, by the way. Terrific restaurant. Bring the kids, go to the beer garden, one of CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company's landmark spots. Now, we are doing today, we have done all season, the Joe Sixpack Essentials. Places that through his years of stumbling out of bars, eating desiccated sandwiches, I assume, he has learned are the best spots. And today you're going to take on South Philly, eh?
Yeah, South Philly.
It's a big area.
It
big
is.
turf.
It's a big turf, and most people end up over on East Passyunk Avenue because that's where all the clubs and the bars are. But I wanted to direct you to the other side of Broad Street, to the section sort of just west of Broad Street, maybe the vicinity of the Melrose Diner.
Okay,
So,
there you go.
and
Everybody who knows goes to Melrose.
Absolutely. Boy, that's a song out of the past. Now it's like going to be an earworm. I'm not going to get rid of that one. So two breweries in particular. Second District, which is at 1939 Bancroft Street.
Never been.
Really small corner bar atmosphere. Outstanding beer from brewer Ben Potts, well-known name in Philly. Outstanding spot. And not too far, maybe just a few minute walk, maybe 3 or 4 minute walk from there on 1927 West Passyunk is Brewery Ars, A-R-S, owned by a pair of brothers. It's essentially a garage, not a whole lot more than a garage with a tap room and a brewery there. They are known for their, some crazy beers, including one I love, Gotta try this Ghost.
You've got to try this Ghost. Okay, I like it.
And some outstanding saisons, definitely worth checking out. Good food trucks there too. And finally, a bar in that same vicinity, South Philly Tap Room. Everybody knows about this place. It's just everybody knows it as SPTR. Great beer and food. The other thing I like about it is a wonderful community feel where it is actually established. The bar was actually established as a meeting place for the neighborhood, and it still is.
Great. Good stuff. South Philly, great area. Go before or after the game. The other thing we've been doing this year, which has been a lot of fun, is our Guzzly Awards, which we kind of created out of nowhere, and we're going to print up things and give them to the winners. And they're to find and honor breweries, brew pubs, beer bars that are particularly exceptional in one area or another. Now, this is an interesting one because what we wanted to do was find the places that have the most diverse crowd. And we mean diverse by age, we mean diverse by gender, we mean by gender identity, by ethnicity, a place where you're going to go and find people who are not like you. We got fewer nominations for this than any of the ones we've done before. Let me give you the list of what we've got
I
here.
find that really interesting too, because I think people tend to hang with people that are the same as them.
Right, and that's kind of the point. And well, I'll get into my preaching in a moment, but here's the nominations. McMenamin's Tavern in Mount Airy, Monk's Cafe down in Center City, Human Robot, which seems to come up in all of these, Attic Brewing in Germantown, my friend Joanne Cunningham nominated that, Black Cat Tavern at 12th and Oregon, which is a little mom and pop place. Pen and Pencil Club, which is, the problem with that is it's not open to everybody, right? Yeah. It's off the record.
Yes.
Local 44 in West Philly, Love City in Spring Garden, that's a great place. Murph's in Fishtown and Laser Wolf in Fishtown. Joe Sixpack, you always get to name the 4 finalists. What do you got?
Okay, well, the top one has got, to my mind, is McMenamin's up in Mount Airy. Mount Airy is just incredibly diverse as a neighborhood, and you know, you go into McManaman's and there's all sorts in there, and I love it. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. Got to mention Monk's too in Center City. The thing I always like about Philadelphia is that it's a city of neighborhoods, but one of those neighborhoods is Center City. We're in the midst of all the skyscrapers and so on. We got corner places, and Monk's is one fine example. Also, in not far from Monk's, but not necessarily a great beer, known as a beer bar, but certainly one of the great diverse places in Philly is Dirty Frank's.
Okay. You're bringing that one up yourself.
Yeah, I am, because it is, the crowd there is young and old, all types.
Ed Snyder used to hang out there.
Yeah, it's
He used
amazing.
to play shuffleboard.
I don't think the shuffleboard table's there anymore.
Okay.
But also one of the more interesting, used to have one of the more interesting men's rooms in the city. So Dirty Frank's, and then the final one is a relatively new on the scene, and that's Triple Bottom Brewing up in Spring Garden.
So what I take out of this, and I had a conversation with somebody who's really smart a month or so ago, who said, one of the reasons that our country is so divided, pardon me while I preach here, is that people just hang out with people themselves. You live in neighborhoods with people like you. You go to church or synagogue with people like you. You go to restaurants and it's the same people as you. And we would all be better if we spent more time with people who were in a different economic situation, or, you know, the different background, different race, and we don't do it enough.
Exactly.
And it would seem that bars and breweries are the perfect place to do it.
They are the antidote to confirmation bias. We like to hear and believe what we already know.
Yeah.
Sit next to somebody different at a bar, exchange ideas. You don't have to agree,
Yes.
but you will broaden your whole life by doing that.
And it always goes better over a beer.
Absolutely,
All
that's
right,
the way.
So that's our nominees for that. I'm done preaching. Coming up, you may still, like me, have Thanksgiving leftovers. You may be looking forward to the holidays coming up. Andrew Colligan, Director of Sales at CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing, is going to tell you the best beer pairings for all of them. With Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport. What's brewing?
You don't have to go away to get away. Go and explore. Find the small businesses that make where you live a community. When you dine, choose homemade. On a free weekend, discover the great outdoors. And if it's brewed here, enjoy it with friends. Support small for an experience you won't find anywhere else. Make it local, make it Main Street, make it Modco.
Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. We're at the Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport. And look, Thanksgiving is past, Hanukkah, Christmas coming up. However, my fridge still stuffed with leftovers. Andrew Colligan, head of sales for CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing, joins us, and you're going to help me get rid of my leftovers and move on to the future holidays by pairing it with beer. So, I still got turkey in the fridge. I'm getting a little weary of it. What would I be best pairing it with?
Holiday's a great time to gather family and friends, and you got to have a great beer to go with your food. So that turkey, got to go Puddler's Row.
Oh, I love the Puddler's Row.
Add malty, roasty, some caramel and toffee notes. That caramelization during the brewing process is going to go beautifully with that roasting process on that turkey.
This is a multiple World Beer Cup award winner.
Back-to-back, 2016 and 2018.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, and so this will go with my turkey, but you're saying this is also really appropriate for the Christmas ham and the Hanukkah brisket.
Absolutely.
This is my meats beer.
Hold it, Hanukkah brisket.
Oh, yeah.
Please
Well, we
tell
don't
me
make a
more.
Hanukkah ham,
Well,
son.
I understand that, but
I don't know that everybody does, but in my
Okay.
household, we've made a brisket every Hanukkah. It's good.
Whatever your denomination, your meat of choice will pair perfectly.
Yeah, it's on M's recipe. We've been doing it for 40 years, man. It's pretty good. All right, so I got my winter veggies. I like to mix that up. Maybe have a cheese tray out there.
Yeah, charcuterie boards are all the rage.
Oh,
so,
yeah, charcuterie. Yeah,
charcuterie?
let's go with that.
that's crudités, aren't they?
yeah.
Okay, so with what beer would that be best?
I got to pick back beer, Belgian style wheat. So think a nice funky cheese, those winter veggies, those light body and those spicy peppery notes from that Belgian yeast. Going to pair beautifully with some good funky cheese and veggies.
Okay.
I agree 100%. It's a lot of flavor in that beer. It'll carry the veggies, but won't conflict.
Okay. Are you a fan of the like winter root veggies? You know, we do a thing with like carrots and turnips and all that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, see, I knew you would. I'm not sure means you're not.
Turnips?
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Okay,
Those
with
things
this
are
beer.
best left in the ground.
No, they're good. The root vegetables, man. I'm into them. All right, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay? The most traditional Hanukkah dish, and I celebrate Hanukkah, is latkes, which I make myself off of my grandmother Dorothy's recipe, and I don't use that Cuisinart, Mr. Frenchie. I do it with this. You get a little bits of fingernail in it, makes it all the better. When I'm making my latkes, I guess this goes for any potatoes, right?
Sure.
What's the beer of choice?
Well, not to demean Jewish cooking, but traditionally a little bit light in flavor, let's call it. So I think a nice big bowl
No,
of
my
IPA.
latkes are not light in flavor. A lot of onion and garlic in there. Okay, so what are we doing? I'm sorry.
We're going to do an IPA. So let's call it Life Coach, our hazy IPA, our Type A IPA, 2-hour delay, our hazy winter IPA. That citrusy notes, a little bit of that bitterness is really going to cut through that heavy frying process on the latkes.
Oh, yeah,
and
heavy frying.
Bring you wanting back for more of any fried foods, including latkes.
Yeah, and by the way, it takes me 3-4 hours to cook this all. Can I drink this as I cook it?
I would highly recommend it. Okay.
All right, so root vegetables,
Yeah.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Let's go to my favorite holiday meal, and that would be Christmas cookies.
Sure.
What do you get to pair for those?
I'll tell you what, your Christmas cookies, your pies, fruit cakes, you can't catch me. Our gingerbread ale, it is just the perfect pairing. You're getting that clove, you're getting that ginger and that bit of spice. It's going to pair beautifully with gingerbread men or any cookies.
And you know I'm a big fan of Christmas beer, so or holiday beer, we'll call it.
Tis the season.
All right, wait, we got one left. What are we doing with this? What's with the ring the bell? We got I got nothing else on my list here.
Well, I'll tell you what, for the easiest drinking beer that we have to go with at least my Colligan family tradition. That's chicken and dumplings. My family's been doing it for generations now, and it's just, hey, the perfect holiday meal.
That's your holiday meals, chicken and
Chicken
dumplings.
and
I'm not in any way criticizing it. It's just everybody's got their family. Ours is the brisket.
Yeah, fond family memories of my mom and grandmother making it on Christmas Eve, and I've brought that to my wife and daughter. The light,
nice.
bready, biscuity notes of this Pilsner is going to go beautifully with a light, fluffy dumpling, and also the spice and the herby notes from that chicken and broth is going to go great with a Pilsner.
So your mom, as she's making it.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on there at the Colligan house?
She introduced me to some amazing beers. So. Is that right? Yeah, most certainly.
Your
Yeah.
mom introduced you to beer?
I'll tell you what, yeah, she took me to the Mexican Food Factory and a couple other spots in South Jersey, Cherry Hill, where I'm from, and yeah, she was definitely instrumental in getting into good beer, you know?
Great
It's like
story.
Ma Sixpack was one of those people with the needles pushing the beer.
Is that
not
right?
going
Yeah.
to kegs back into Prohibition.
My mom drank a little bit, like a little wine. My dad's idea of drinking is, hey son, you want to split me a beer? It's like, oh, 6 whole ounces, Dad. I don't know if I can handle it. Hey, that's why he's 92 and still doing well.
There you go.
Andrew Colligan, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks for
Joe
having me.
Sixpack, buddy, I'm going to miss you, pal. I am. I wish you
Glenn-
the best in your new adventure with your wife.
Thank you so much. You know, it's been a great run here, and I can't wait to, maybe we'll be drinking some virtual beers together.
We will be doing so. The show will continue. Joe Sixpack will remain a part of it. We'll kind of figure it out. Andrew Colligan, it's always a pleasure, and always a pleasure to be here at Puddler's Kitchen and Tap in Bridgeport. We, some of us, well, all of us, we'll see you next week on What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. And by the CONSHOHOCKEN Brewing Company, the perfect place for your holiday gathering. Reach out today at events@CONSHOHOCKENBrewing.com.